From Chet TV's studios in British Columbia, this is Chet TV News with Marlon Gomez.
Hello and welcome to Chet TV News. I'm Marlon Gomez. Before we begin, we would like to wish everyone a Happy New Year, and we hope everyone got to enjoy their holidays. Now, as you may have noticed, Chet TV has a new look for our studio. Our staff here at Chet TV worked very hard throughout the holidays to come up with this new concept, and we're very excited about it, and we hope that you like it as well. All right, let's go ahead and move on to your latest news. We begin here in Chetwynd with some sad news. As of this week, our local newspaper has printed its final words.
It's like losing a part of me. It's an image thing, you know. This is a town now, and it doesn't have a weekly newspaper, and I just feel real bad about it.
Mayor Merlin Nichols was among many of the people who were sad to hear that Chetwynd Echo would be closing its doors. In late December, the paper announced that they could no longer operate. Naomi Larson, Echo's editor, says that without their main source of revenue, they were left with no other option but to close.
Well, after almost 57 years, there just simply isn't enough advertising revenue and subscription revenue and newsstand revenue to keep our doors open.
Unlike other newspapers, Larson says they didn't have a large corporation behind them who could support them during the tough economic downturns. Echo operated as an independent newspaper and was owned by a family out in Ontario. Larson says that even after cutting down their staff from 6 to 2 people and cutting costs in numerous areas, it still wasn't enough to keep the paper going.
We have done just about everything we could do. We've gone from, we've switched printing presses 3 times in the last 2 years to keep getting a better deal, better deal, better deal. We had to change the format of our paper simply due to paper costs.
The option to become an online publication was considered, but Larson says once again that advertising revenue just wasn't there. The good news is that not everything has been lost. All the old publications will still be available at Chetwynd's library, but more importantly, memories will always remain.
A lot of community things stand out, you know, the Alzheimer's Walk every year, covering the Firefighters Ball every year, covering, you know, events at the library, events at Sorera's Place. When Sorera's Place opened, that was amazing as well, too. I mean, that was a much needed facility in our community. Everything, like I said, kind of deems that same importance.
On behalf of Chet TV and Peace FM, it was a pleasure to work with Naomi Larson and Tammy Klorick, and we wish you all the best in the future. In other news, Chet TV also had a chance to speak with Mayor Nichols about 2015's highlights and upcoming plans.
The highlight of 2015?
Yes.
Well, that's really quite easy. The first highlight was the completion of the Chetwynd Medical Clinic and Wellness Center.
Another topic that was discussed was Chetwynd's sewage system. Nichols says everything is in order for that project to begin this year.
The district received approximately $3 million grant from the provincial and federal governments. The district also received authorization from the people to borrow $1.5 million. And we've also received a $500,000 grant from the regional district. So that project is well funded and it's going ahead.
And finally, we asked Mayor Nichols about the district's plans to help recruit more doctors to this area.
What I'm saying, there is no end to recruitment. We can't say, hey, we've recruited and it's done, let's go to the beach and play. It doesn't work that way. Because doctors are human like the rest of us. Things change. We just got to keep recruiting.
Moving on to another story, a Chetwynd resident was forced out of his home right before Christmas. This is all that's left of the house after fire crews were called to 4909 46th Street on December 22nd. Firefighters worked throughout the afternoon to extinguish the fire. Less than a day later, the building was once again in full blaze. A backhoe and loader were called to bring down the building to prevent the fire from spreading. How the fire sparked the second time is still under investigation. In the giving season, emergency social services were offered, but the homeowner kindly refused due to his insurance. One Chetwynd resident is lucky to be alive after a rescue mission that lasted 4.5 hours. Norm Sawchuk was traveling on Wabi Hill Tower Road on December 22nd when suddenly he crashed his quad and rolled for 70 meters down a cliff.
And all of a sudden, my bike, I could see the windshield was just going down in front of me, and from then on, I guess I just rolled for about 70 yards, and all I remember then is I was standing beside the bike answering my phone. I guess Elsie called me, and I was answering my phone, and she asked me where I was, and I said, I don't know. I was just getting cold, very cold, but lucky that my son-in-law Arnold Stevens come there first and got me warmed up a little bit with his body. And then shortly after that, search and rescue come with the skimmer and the RCMP. One of the RCMP people were there very soon too.
STARS, a nonprofit air ambulance organization, was eventually called, stopping traffic on Highway 97. Rescue workers loaded Sawchuk into the helicopter, and he was taken to the hospital in Grand Prairie.
British Columbians do not have to pay if they are transported by the STARS helicopter. They're 100% provincially and community funded, so no cost to the patient.
Not through that draw,
I'll go through the questions and we can stop and go in.
In total, 16 first responders came to assist in the search and rescue of the 75-year-old, who is expected to make a full recovery. Moving on to regional news, the battle by landowners and First Nations to stop BC Hydro Site C from happening has escalated to new heights. Earlier this week, a number of protesters occupied an area near Site C in order to stop construction. In the last 4 months, BC Hydro has begun construction near Fort St. John in order to complete the $9 billion dam. Yvonne Tupper is a Saulteaux First Nation member and a Chetwynd resident, and she has been staying at the peaceful protest camp in the south bank of the river known as Old Fort Camp. Tupper says that as a member of the Treaty 8 First Nations, they are the stewards of the land, and therefore BC Hydro should not be there without their permission.
And so for BC Hydro, I think they need to take a culture competency training course and really look at the land that they're on. I think that's an insult to me and should be an insult to any other Treaty 8 First Nations members that they don't know the land that they're on.
Although Dave Conway, BC Hydro's manager of community relations, says they have all the correct permits, and at no point has the court told them that they can't begin construction due to the pending court cases.
Right, so while those permits are currently being looked at, did the court tell you guys you can't do any construction until we finish this court case?
No. We have the certification from the provincial and federal governments to do the work. We have the permits that we require to the works to do the works.
However, Helen Knott, a Treaty 8 territory member and a Prophet River First Nation member, says the damage that is being done to the land while waiting for the court cases to come to a conclusion is irreversible.
Those trees aren't going to grow back overnight, or when a decision is made. When you look at the loss in the meanwhile, like while waiting for something, I don't think, as an individual, I don't believe that that's right or that is okay. In
a press release earlier this week by Fort St. John's RCMP, they say that another group of protesters decided to block a road with their pickup trucks in order to prevent access to Site C. In total, police say they have arrested 3 people after rejecting the officer's request to move to the side of the road. BC Hydro has issued an eviction notice and say they are working with local groups and authorities to improve the current situation.
So the protest is affecting a small clearing area. All other construction work on the site, on the north and the south bank sides around the dam site area, is continuing. We do respect the right of all individuals to peacefully protest and express their opinions about Site C in a safe and lawful manner. And our concern is to ensure the safety of both Site C workers and the protesters.
Regardless of which side of the fence people are on, they are both fighting for what they believe is a better future for this land. BC Hydro says this dam will power 450,000 homes, while landowners and many First Nation bands believe the land should be left as is. so that the wildlife can flourish and future generations can continue hunting, fishing, and trapping. Chet TV will continue to cover the story as it unfolds. Okay, it's time for a short commercial break. But coming up ahead, we'll have Robert Springett with your 5-day forecast, and Matt Nicholson will have his sports update. Stay with us.
Welcome to the Lion Inn & Suites. It is our pleasure to show you our incredibly beautiful rooms designed for the worker, tourist, and families visiting the Chetwynd area. Ken and Lily have hired the very best contractors and searched out the very best furniture and appliances for each room. The Lion has rooms for every need. Select the rooms of your choice and enjoy comfy beds and use their kitchens and appreciate immaculate new bathrooms. You'll be delighted to find washers and dryers for your use, fast Wi-Fi connections, and flat-screen TVs for your viewing pleasure. You'll be delighted and always return to the Lion in Chetwynd because the rooms are spacious, cuisine tickets to the Red Lion restaurant are given as bonuses, and service is always pleasant and professional. The Lion is located at 5132 46th Avenue Northwest. Call us at 250-788-9990. Call for a reservation today.
From Chet TV's studios in British Columbia, this is Chet TV News with Marlon Gomez.
Welcome back. Well, it's a brand new year, and we hope it brings many blessings to the people here in the Peace region. For some people, it already has. Earlier this week, Dawson Creek received the first baby of the year. Jace Edward George Umbret was the first baby of 2016 at the Dawson Creek and District Hospital. Jace was born on January 4th, weighing in at 8 pounds. Chet TV spoke with Jace's father, Michael Umbret, about their decision for their baby's name. Michael says he and his wife picked the name because it's not very common and it has a nice ring to it. However, when it came to his middle names, they stuck to tradition and gave Jace both of his grandfather's names. Michael also says they were actually expecting Jace on December 30th, but Jace had other plans. He wasn't quite ready to come out just yet. Regardless, Michael and Kara are very ecstatic to have a new baby, and we wish them all the best. All right, now it's time for the Peace Region Sports Update. For that, we will go to Matt Nicholson.
Thanks, Marlon. In NWJHL action, there are 6 games over the weekend, starting Friday with the Junior Canucks at home versus the JDA Kings. The last time these teams met in Dawson Creek, the Junior Canucks won 7-4. Look for the Junior Canucks to win this one, but they will need a fast start and some scoring in the first period. The Navigators are in Beaver Lodge. Look for the Navigators to get an easy W in that game. The last game Friday has the Huskies in Fairview to take on the Flyers. The Flyers have already won 2 games in the new year, and I expect to have a 3rd win for them after this game. Saturday, the Huskies are in Sexsmith to face the Vipers. This should be a close one, but with back-to-back road games for the Huskies, the Vipers should win at home. The Blades are in Grand Prairie, and considering the best player from the Blades left them earlier this season for the JDA Kings, expect the Kings to get the win in this one. The last game of the weekend takes place in Dawson Creek, with the Flyers visiting for an afternoon game Sunday. The Junior Canucks have had trouble with the Flyers this season, and I don't see that changing on Sunday. Other local games to look forward to in the Peace region include the Northeast BC Yukon Trackers at home versus the Peace River Royals Sunday in NAMHL action. In the NPHL, the Dawson Creek Senior Canucks have 2 road games, the first Friday in Fort St. John, and Saturday they're in Manning to face the Comets. That wraps up your Peace Region Sports Update. Now let's throw it back to Marlon.
Thanks, Matt. Now let's move on to the Peace Region's 5-day forecast. For that, we will go to Robert Springett, who joins us outside the studio. Hey, Rob. So what do you think about our new look at the studio?
Yeah, it's looking very sharp, Marlon. I gotta say, anywhere but outside looks good enough for me. But that's really the story of their 5-day weather forecast across the Peace region. Very cold temperatures starting today, but some people are making the most of it. You're looking at Peace FM's Chris Newton with a pot of hot water. Yeah, that's pretty cool, making some snow. After the break, we'll see if Mother Nature will be making some snow in our 5-day weather forecast. Don't go anywhere. Wind turbines in the Zona Beck area? Chet TV talks to the applicant Natural Forces on their wind farm proposal and residents around the Lone Prairie, Zona Beck, and Dickey Bush areas about their concerns on the project. Chet TV provides an in-depth look on the proposal, answering all your questions. For scheduling, visit peacefm.ca or stay tuned on Bell 655 Eastlink Channel 40 or on air on Channel 55. Chet TV, your station. Welcome back to Chet TV News. Now, before the break, we were wondering whether or not Mother Nature would bring some snow across the Peace region. It's looking like it's more going to be the wind chill we're going to be really paying attention to across the Peace region. It's going to get way down there. Starting in Chetwynd, let's look at the next couple of days. Tonight, stay indoors. It's going to feel like minus 30. Saturday isn't much better. The wind chill will take us to minus 25 with the mix of sun and cloud throughout the day. Sunday will be cloudy with a low of minus 15. Monday, it looks like we'll just need to look out for some flurries developing throughout the day. And on Tuesday, a mix of sun and cloud with temperatures finally warming up, low of minus 8, high of minus 9. In Dawson Creek, tonight will be partly cloudy with a low of minus 18. Saturday, again, the wind chill, minus 25 with a mix of sun and cloud. Sunday, cloudy with a high of minus 12 and a low of minus 15. Monday, a low of minus 15 and some expected flurries throughout the day. Tuesday, a mix of sun and cloud with a low of minus 8. Let's go to Fort St. John. Tonight will feel like minus 27 with flurries going into the morning. Saturday, the flurries will die off in the afternoon, but will feel like minus 27 with the wind chill. Sunday, cloudy with a high of minus 12 and a low of minus 15. Monday, expect flurries with the temperatures hovering around minus 15. Tuesday, a mix of sun and cloud with a high of minus 6. In Grand Prairie tonight, maybe some flurries or even some fog patches, so be careful on the road. Also, it's going to feel like minus 27 out there. Saturday, a mix of sun and cloud with the wind chill at minus 32. Ouch! Sunday, a high of minus 6 and a low of minus 18. Monday, cloudy with a 40% chance of flurries, low of minus 18. Tuesday, a mix of sun and cloud with a high of minus 1. Finally, in Prince George, tonight will be cloudy with a 40% chance of flurries, maybe some fog. Things will hover around minus 14. Saturday, mainly cloudy with the chance of flurries, high of minus 11 and a low of minus 12. Sunday, cloudy with a 30% chance of flurries, high of minus 8. Monday, expect some snow with temperatures staying around minus 6. And Tuesday, cloudy with a chance of flurries, but temperatures almost go positive, high of minus 0. So as you can see, over the weekend it's going to be very cold, especially with that wind chill. So I suggest if you're going to go outside, cover up, make sure no skin's exposed. Now we're going to send things back to you inside Marlin.
Thanks, Robert. Now let's turn over to this week's local entertainment, starting with this week's movie review, done by our very own Cole Pops. Have a look.
Hello and welcome to Pop's Picks. I hope everyone had a great holiday break. And the first movie we're going to be taking a look at, returning from the break, is In the Heart of the Sea. This movie stars Chris Hemsworth, Brendan Gleeson, and Cillian Murphy. And it's the latest movie from director Ron Howard. It's an action-adventure flick set at sea in the 1820s. Let's take a look.
How does one come to know the sea's dark secrets? Monsters. Are they real?
In the Heart of the Sea is adapted from a book, and it's said to be the tale that inspired Moby Dick. It's about a New England whaling crew who's attacked by this monstrous whale, and the story that follows is heartbreaking and intense. It's a tale of survival that the characters had to endure after the wreck. Now, I really loved Ron Howard's previous movie to this, Rush. This one, I didn't love as much, but that being said, it was still a great story. Chris Hemsworth, who's best known for his role as Thor in the Avengers, lost a lot of weight for this role, and he was very, very good in this movie.
I want you to tell me what happened. Tell me the secret of the Essex.
I don't expect a writer to understand, Mr. Melville.
Promise me to come back.
I'll come back as quick as the summer's night, I swear it.
Normally, a captain gets to choose his first mate.
An experienced captain, yes. Centuries before, sailors feared sailing off the edge of the earth.
All hands on deck!
But we were headed for the edge of sanity.
I believe you have seen things no one else has seen.
What is it?
Now, it's hard to say what I disliked about this movie. Every scene and performance is good, but that's kind of all it is good. The movie doesn't exactly have any moments in it that really blew me away or stuck out to me when I looked back after the viewing. But that's really my only gripe. It's a very entertaining and gripping story, and all the actors did amazing jobs. They starve themselves while they're out there on sea, and the body transformations and the character development as they get hungrier and hungrier was shown really well.
Abandoned ship! We can't row away home!
We will surely perish out there. We might also survive. Don't you quit on me. We're going home.
Say you're scared! Say it!
As I live and breathe, he's mine.
So it's true.
Yes, too much is true.
In the Heart of the Sea is a great mix of adventure and drama. I'm going to give it 3.5 out of 5 stars. Check it out Thursday, January 7th through Sunday, January 10th at 8 p.m. at the Rex Theater in downtown Chetwynd. This has been Cole Pops for Pops Picks on Chet TV.
And finally, it's now time for our weekly book review from Pine Tree Books. For that, we will go to Station General Manager Leo Sobolski.
Hi, you're listening to Peace FM and Chet TV, the Pine Tree Book Report, the first one in 2016. Over the last 2 weeks, Rosie and I have been reading a lot of books. Haven't we, Rosie? Right, Rosie? We've been reading a lot of books. And look at this, Rosie. Rosie, look. We've been reading the major book, history book of the Little Prairie, of the history book saga of Little Prairie. Rosie, sit down. I'm going to show you some pictures. Well, Rosie has been looking at pictures nonstop, and I'm teaching her how to read. So this is a must-read. History book saga of Little Prairie and Chetwynd. So what she's been looking at are pictures of Frank and Liz Campbell. And it's in the history book. It's page 168. And you can see Frank and Rose and all the kids. And she comes from the Frank Campbell family, right? Look at that. So if you want to learn about Rosie's parents, Frank and Liz Campbell, pick up a copy of the history book saga of Little Prairie, Chetwynd. Excellent read, and you can find out about the pioneers. Chet TV will be selecting 3 or 4 couples to tell their story in the new year, which is right now, about people who have lived in Chetwynd and have love stories to tell. So make sure you keep tuning in to Chet TV, because we're going to have major new features. A book that I found that I really enjoyed is this book right here. It's called A Place to Stand. This is my copy. You can't buy it. Excellent book. It's written by a teacher from Fort St. John. And Rosie, you sat beside me while I read that, and you enjoyed it too, didn't you? Yes. It's A Place to Stand, A Tale of the Peace River Country by J.W. Sechrist. I am trying to locate the man, and he lives in Charlie Lake, and it's a really good fictional story about people that lived along the Peace River in the 50s, right after World War II. And they talk about the building of the W.A.C. Bennett Dam and the Peace Canyon Dam. Excellent, excellent read. And I've ordered 2 or 3 copies of this book specifically. Again, we have been reading a lot, haven't we? We've done a genealogy, and I don't know if there are any border collies way back in Kelly Lake, but we looked and searched. There are pictures of dogs in this book. This is the original, and we have 1, 2, 3. We don't have very many copies of this book. It's a rare book. They only published 100 of these books, and we've got the last 3 rare books. It's the original history of the Métis Outpost by Jerry Andrews. Excellent book, terrific. If you are one of the major people from this area, or your family is from this area, you must have a copy of this book. Terrific read. Last 2 books that I'm going to be talking about. Terror on the Alert by Robert Mackey. And Robert Mackey taught in Chetwynd in the early 70s, and he lived out in Hassler, and now he lives on Vancouver Island. He visited, and he's going to be visiting again. He has a lot of friends in this area, and he is really considered a local author. So read this book, Terror on the Alert by Robert Mackey. The last book that Rosie and I read was called Lost, and it scared her. She hid her head under the blankets and shuddered and shaked. So it's called Lost, Unsolved Mysteries of Canadian Aviation. I don't think she's going to fly after my reading this book to her, because she got really afraid. So read Lost, Unsolved Mysteries of Canadian Aviation. So for the new year, Happy New Year's everyone. Come into Pine Tree Books. If you have a book that we don't have, tell us about it and we'll find it for you. It's a great time to cuddle up beside a nice warm fireplace or wood stove and read until the wee hours of the evening. So enjoy our books. Come in and visit. We'll be doing an open house in the near future. Enjoy.
That's all the time we have for today. For Chet TV News, I'm Marlon Gomez. Thanks for joining us.
Chet TV is owned and operated by the Chetwynd Communication Society. You can find us on Channel 655 on Bell, Eastlink Channel 40, or on Air Channel 55. Chet TV, your station.